Good morning, children. We will continue the lesson, the Blue Bead. It's there in page number 99. There we stopped in page number 98, the last paragraph. It says that Sylvia was in her imagination. In those caverns above the high water mark of the highest flood, she had stored some little balls molded of clay while they hardened. She made some clay balls and she kept it there where she went for work, like those caverns. Caverns means small caves. And in the high water mark of the highest flood, so where the cliff, from where the water comes, it makes a watermark. That place they have described here. So she made some of the clay particles, and if there were anything that could be used, so here it is said that she painted those clay balls, what she made it after it hardened, she painted it with some marigolds and elephants. That when she was in her imagination, she heard the voice of her mother. Child, she is with a sharp word, the glare of her mother's angry, sweating face pulled Sylvia back to work, and they toiled on. You should also imagine the situation in which Sylvia is there. Sylvia went to cut the grass with the women of her village, and her mother too was there. And when they were doing the work, she went in her imagination. She lost her, she was in her own imagination, not doing the work. She stopped the work and she went in her imagination. So there, her mother calls her with a short word, child. So she heard the angry sound of her mother with a sweating face. So immediately she started doing her work. So her imagination was stopped there, and she started toiled on. Toiled on means started working on. But at last it was time to go back to see to their animals and the evening meal. Now the time has come for them to leave the forest and come back to their home and to look after their animals and also make their evening meal. That means the time to return to their home. The loaded women set out to cross the river again. So in the beginning, in the before lesson, part of the lesson, we saw that how the women crossed the river and climbed on the cliff and went to cut the grass. So now they are coming down, loaded with those cut grass, and they have to cross the river again to come to their village. Sylvia hung back. When they were walking together, she stopped, hung back. She stopped. She would just dawdle a bit and run and see if the little clay cups were still there in the cave. So the caverns where she has she had kept that clay pots when she was small, that means years past. So she was having that imagination, so she wanted to have a look of that which she had left there while they were coming back. So she stopped there. Instead of walking along with a group of people, she stopped, and there she wanted to see that and waiting to be painted and used. So she wanted to see that clay balls which she had kept there. Although the women were now tired and loaded, they still talked, because we know that they have to talk to not to feel their tiredness. Though they were tired, even then they will keep talking, and they were shouting also. Those in front yelled to those behind, because it's a path like that, it will be, many cannot walk together. So one behind one should go. It's a narrow path it will be. So the woman who is leading the group, if she wants to say something, she has to yell. Yell means shout a lot, raise her voice, so that the woman who is walking at the back also can hear it. They crossed the river safely and disappeared up the track into the trees on the other side. Even their voices died away. So they were crossing the river. When they were crossing the river, they raised their voice more, and they crossed the river safely. All of them are safe. No attack of the crocodile there, and disappeared up the track into the trees on the other side. So other side they have come. Even their voices died away. Silence fell. So when they were crossing the river only, they were yelling just to avoid the attack of the crocodile or to frighten the crocodile. Silence fell while they were walking in the tree side. The silence fell. Sylvia came down alone to the stepping stones. So all of them crossed the river. There is no noise, and the voice of the women are not being heard. Sylvia stopped somewhere behind the river. No? So now the silence is there, and she had to cross the river through the stepping stones alone. The light of evening was striking up the pink into the ultraviolet shadows because of the sunset. The light, George means the hill area, the narrow path of the hill between the hills, the pink into the ultraviolet shadows. So those shadows of the colors of the sunset. So it was looking pink. Now that the sun was off it, that means sunset, the water poured almost invisible among the stones. So when they were going, because of the sunlight, the water which was falling from the hills or that spring was shining. Now it is not being seen because of the darkness or no light, with no reflection to show where it began. So they cannot see one cannot see the stepping stones from where it starts. Sylvia stepped onto the first stone. So she carefully kept her feet on the first stone. She was heavily weighted. Her muscles stretched and aching because we know that while they were coming back, they will be loaded. So because of the heavy bamboo grass, she was feeling tired, and also her muscles were stretched and aching. The hay fork which they used to cut the grass squeaked in the packed dry grass and dug into her collarbones, so close under the skin, in spite of the sari bunched up to make a pad. They kept the pad too, that means they rolled the sari and make a pad and keep the load on there. Right? And the thing which she has kept on her shoulder was making some, it was pressing her shoulder. When she was halfway over, she put her load down on a big boulder to rest. So big boulder is a big stone like that. And she kept put her load down halfway over and leaned, breathing on the fork. So she leaned and breathing on the fork. So because of that thing which she was taking breath, and that fork and her device which she has used was pricking her. It is somewhere it is giving her pain. At the same moment, a Guja woman came down with 2 gadas to the water on the other side. So while she was bringing the load down and taking little breath, that time the same time, simultaneously. So other side, where she was standing, one side river bank, the stone, the other side of the stream which is flowing, a woman from that Junglees group, that is Gujar group, the nomads, came with two gadas, two pots to the water on the other side. In order to get, why she had come over there? To get good clear water which would quickly fill both gadas to the top without sand, because of the stones there will be, and the water which is flowing over the stones will filter all the dust, and that clear water she can get, one point. And because of pouring, she can fill the pot quickly. In that reason, two reasons. The water, she can fill the pots quickly, and another reason is without sand. For these two reasons, she has come up to that stone part. She walked onto the stepping stones. So she was coming up to the stepping stones for two reasons. What was the reason? Underline, and question can be framed out of these lines. She was within a yard of the crocodile when he lunged at her. So when she was crossing the stone, only a yard distance the crocodile was there. Up out of the darkling water, out of the darkling water, heaved, that means darkling means hidden, that under the water, heaved the great reptile. So the reptile is hiding under the water which is heaved, slushing off him, his livid jaws yawning and all his teeth flashing as he slashed at her leg. So this is the position of the crocodile and the Gujar woman. Sibia is in the other side. Two sides will be there for any stream or river. So other bank of the river stream, she is standing and watching this. So the crocodile is opening its mouth, showing all the teeth, and it slashed at her leg. The crocodile slashed the water at her leg. The woman screamed, she shouted, dropped both brass pots with a clatter on the boulder. So from whence they bounced to the water, and Sibia saw them bob away in the current. Sibia is standing other side and watching this scene. When crocodile came close to her leg, and the pots which she had in her hands, two brass metal pots, she dropped it. It fell on the boulder, the stone, and it made a sound, clatter is the sound of the pot, and it bounced. And the same time, because of the water current, the pot was far away, moved away. Oh, the two good vessels gone. This sentence was said by Sibia. She is watching everything and she shouted, oh, what a nice two brass vessel gone in the water. In the current, it is taken. Those two parts are taken by the water current. The Gujar woman recoiled from the crocodile, but his jaws closed on her leg at the same moment as she slipped and fell on the bone breaking stone and clutched one of the timber logs to save herself. So when the crocodile caught her leg with his jaws closed, it just closed its jaws, that woman was trying to come out from the fold of that crocodile, but her leg was in the mouth of the crocodile. So she is trying to come out from the clutches of the crocodile, and she got hold of one timber, wood, to save herself. The log jammed between two boulders, and luckily the timber which she had caught hold of was stuck between two boulders, with the woman clinging to it and screaming while the crocodile pulled on her leg, thrashing his mighty tail, bang, bang, to and fro in great smacking. This is the power the crocodile will get to move its tail to control his catch. So the lady is trying to pull her leg, but the crocodile is holding her very strongly and banging its tail with all his might. And great smacking flails as he tried to drag her free and carry her off down into the deeps of the pool. And she tried her best to pull her out and away from the crocodile's catch, but because of the tight hold of the crocodile's jaw, between the jaws, the whole teeth, blood spread everywhere because of the bite of that crocodile. Sylvia sprang. What is sprang? What sprangs? Tiger sprang. So the jump of that is, you can see here in Sylvia, from boulder to boulder, and she came leaping like a rock goat. So she, like a rock goat, a hill goat which crossed the river, how it jumps from one boulder to another boulder without losing the aim. She also, without losing her aim, she was jumping. Sometimes it had seemed difficult to cross these stones, especially the big gap in the middle where the river goes through like a bulge of glass. So when the water comes, you can't see that where the stone, so you can't put the hold of your legs on the stone, you have to jump. But now she came on wings, like flying she was, choosing her footing in mid-air. She was flying almost, she was flying without even thinking about it. And in one moment she was beside the shrieking woman. So she reached that other bank where the woman was standing and shrieking, shouting for help. There she reached. Here we stop and we'll continue in the next class.